interesting. There's a lot of romantic and so like the cusp. It's almost like there's like this cusp of giving up, but the cusp of giving up into something. I guess surrender, the surrender and the asking of the beckoning. There's some interesting uses of words here I found fascinating. It made me wonder about the story of these people, of these two. Is this a cult? I mean, as a cult for each other, as some indoctrination. This was very cool, Korey. An interesting piece, and I like the way certain words were reprised throughout or refrained throughout. It really was trying to drive a point of those words, and I really like this.
Thank you.
Boo.
Thank you, bro.
If she is available. All right.
Can
Lady
you
A.
ask? I'm sorry. I have to look at it again. Sorry.
Lady A.
Yes.
A?
This was really. Oh shoot! Just a second.
No problem.
Hang on a second. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, sorry.
We're here.
My phone died. I had to switch it over to the other one. I have dying phones all the time.
Dying phone.
This piece is beautifully romantic, I think. When you talk about going under the spell and the mystic mold and succumbing to the features of your beauteous face, I think that you're led right into that deeply loving relationship. I love how you tie that in with this sort of what is the word I want? A gothic kind of rite. And I think that there's a certain amount of fear in here. And you actually allude to it, but the fear disappears within a glimmer of thought for the love we have for each other embraced, and we are both now together forever, as we ourselves have taught. I think that perhaps she's the vampire. I don't know. I'd have to read it over again to make sure, but perhaps there was you were afraid of her, or the character was afraid of this woman to a degree, but not so afraid that he wouldn't go forward to be with her. And for you, complete me completely is a beautiful way to end this piece. It is very gothic to me, and it reminds me very much of one of my favorite books of Jane Eyre. That era where there was always that fear and suspicion of somebody hiding in the attic or in the tower. But it gave me a feel for that, like Wuthering Heights, that sort of feeling, and which is quite beautiful to me. So this was really well done.
That's a big compliment, and I really appreciate that. I've seen a bit of Jane Eyre stuff in the past, but I don't know much. The funny thing is, I've only been writing really for 17 years, but I haven't really read many poetry books. I've just literally just got up, sat down, wrote something out, and then just put it out, and that's it. I don't, maybe unconsciously, maybe I don't realise it, but maybe unconsciously that I actually I write about stuff without realising what's going on in my head, because I literally just write for the sake of it. But I enjoy doing it, and I don't sit there for like, you know how some people write for half an hour to an hour? I just do it in like 5-10 minutes.
Right. Well, when the muse is moving, that's how you can do it. I would encourage you because I see you seem to be interested in that sort of storytelling, Shakespearean and otherwise, Edgar Allan Poe. But there's a movie that had Orson Welles was Mr. Rochester, and I forget the girl who played Jane Eyre. It's the original movie of the book. I would encourage you to get it. Orson Welles stars in this, simply called Jane Eyre, and it's one of my favorite books and one of my favorite movies. And I think you'll probably very much like it, because there's a bit of eeriness surrounding this story at all times. And it's a great book and a great film.
I'll have to look. What's it called again, lady?
Jane Eyre, Eyre.
Jane Eyre. Is it Jane Eyre the movie?
Yes. Well, the book too.
Right.
But the movie's really great.
Okay. What year did it come out? So I can just check
my
later
goodness.
on.
Well, Bronte wrote it, so that's how old it is. And Orson Welles was a very young man when he played the role, and I'm going to say it was probably in the 30s, 1930s maybe, 40s.
That's a good time for old school movies, actually. Funnily enough, I watched an old film last year called Phantom of the Opera, but it was the 1920s version, the silent movie. And if you've never seen that, I tell you something. I never really was a fan of silent cinematography, but I watched it, and I've watched a few of them. I've also watched The Man Who Laughs as well. And the way that they tell a story with their expressions, they could not do it today. It's a dead art. There's no way they could do it today.
Yeah, Jay, I was just looking at there's a film with William Hurt in a more modernized, I think, 2011 film. But this one that I'm speaking of is 1943. Really great piece.
Okay. I'll have to find it. Orson Welles, Jane Eyre, 1943.
Yep.
I'll find it. Thank you very much, Lady A, and thank you very much for your review.
You're welcome.
Soul, are you back on the line? Are you available? Did you hear Korey's piece?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wow. We've got you, darling. We've got you.
Yeah, I thought I was still on mute. Oh, I really loved Lady A's comments because, both my favorite books and movies you spoke of, Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre. You took me back to some really beautiful, nostalgic moments, Lady A. And, and the poem itself is so gorgeous. It is so, it is something that, I think would stay for long. And I really loved the entire scene that is created at the cliff. I don't know what is the symbolism of 9 o'clock, but it does give us a visual, a very vivid visual. More so when you read words like seeing the smile upon your lips, melting away the pain. I think that says it all, You don't need someone to complete you, only need someone to accept you completely. And that's what, Korey, you've summed in your poem with simple overtures, when someone's smile can heal your brokenness, when you can dare to fall in love again, is when you need to stop looking beyond. And you've given a very, very, you just simplified what is love in your poem. And thank you for this. This is really something that I would take with me today.
Well, Sol, thank you very much. But I'm not going to lie, I did not realise that I simplified love in my poem. I just, like I said, I just wrote, and whatever sticks, sticks. That's how I do it. I just write, and just whatever comes to my head, I bring it down, and then I just put it down. But
That's the beauty of poetry, how it relates or resonates with the reader. You know, it could be different with different people. Like,
yeah.
you know, a simple thing when you say hello to somebody and the person just laughs back, you know. It could be either he's shy to say hello back or he's embarrassed that you said hello to him, you know. So what you assume and presume is up to you, you know, and a reader can only paint a picture. Rest is for the eye to decipher them. And you've done, I don't know, your poem did, resonate with me in deeper or higher levels, as you can say. Very beautiful. The read was very beautiful indeed.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Silk, if you're still around, would you like to comment?
Sure, it's hard for me to add more than everybody else has been saying here, but I thought that the lady said it was kind of a little gothic, and I thought it was a beautiful piece actually. To me,
thank you,
I thought it really, I thought it really expressed that feeling of deep like longing and love and just connection that you feel with like somebody, you know, when you or perhaps your first love or something like that, and like you just always crave that person, and that's how this really, like you said down here, that they completely complete you, and you just don't feel right when that person's away, or and you're always just wanting to get back to that person. That's pretty much all you really care about, and you really captured that very well in this piece, and it was lovely. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, brother. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Rec, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a gorgeous piece. And time lapse is giving me a little foggy on the details again, but I mean, it's, you know, I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you very much, brother. I will get round to learning people's names very soon. Just give me a bit of time.
All right, and Raz.
You're all good. I'm the same way.
Yeah, I heard all
at least 10 times before it's
KOREY.
so.
This is wonderful, beautiful love poetry is what I see here. When you see someone else complete you, you mean that a part of you is now whole, and that message is definitely there on being completed by this other person until you're one in that rectification of love and union of the soul.
Thank you, Raz.
Well, all right. From we're gonna move ahead. I think from this point on, we have people drop. That must have been Rack is gone now. All right. I was gonna say I was gonna think about limiting comments at this juncture. But we'll continue forward. So, Lady A, would you be willing to read a piece for another poet?
Sure.
I'd appreciate that. That'd be. I think she would appreciate it too. I just just laughed because I saw the face in the chat box. All right, I'm gonna post the link. It's Sawa, so so here we go. There it is in the chat, Lady A. Whenever you're ready.
My heart told me, mon cœur m'a dit, My heart told me happiness is never complete. When the fine thread was cut up, fans hearing the fragile music of the night, my eyes screamed. The door has closed. There are no more thoughts to share. On the other side, I am me with my tears and my smile. My breath tried to soothe my soul, while closed flowers reminded me that there will always be a blue sky, where the sound of wings will fill the air with joy. End poem. I don't know if I dare try to read it in French.
I think you did a lovely job.
Thank you.
It was.
That was a lovely piece. Did you say that's from? Yeah, it's from Atom. Oh no, sorry, I apologise. It's from I Love Poems. She really has a really nice way with words, especially the piece where it says the fine thread was cut up. Stands hearing the fragile music of the night. My eyes screamed. The door was closed. There are no more thoughts to share. Again, it comes across as a very somber but a very nice kind of an eye-opening experience piece of poetry as well. It's just a breathtaking piece of poetry.
Yeah, I agree. Stella's pieces always have such heart and deep immersive feeling and emotion. I always feel myself sort of sinking into them. I mean, when they're her brevities or her longer pieces, which she is the queen of brevity, and we're always very welcome to have her pieces, even when she's traveling abroad. Can't wait till she's back. A lovely poet. Soul, what did you think of Stella's piece?
Oh, my Salva, I miss you, my darling. And she didn't have a SoundCloud for this, or did she? No?
Oh, she does.
Okay.
It just was unable to be.
But it could be in all the languages, but Our Lady, she read it so soulfully. Thank you. And she had a SoundCloud. Okay.
Yeah, I said she did. I was explaining she did. And
anyways, she has sent this for the show, K.M. Stephens images, which they have a series, and beautifully, written to the image of the girl with the solemn face, and wherein, she's dressed up and in an ocean with the skies and with the birds flying. And so there's, the pain and the freedom both together, wherein her poem sums it up perfectly, she writes pain and she ends it with hope, and that is what Salva is. And this is what her poem to me speaks. Thank you.
I'm sure Sol would appreciate that comment and that understanding into her work. And you're right. Raz.
Yes, Sala, come home. And as this right, it says what she usually does in her poetry, these messages of reaching that emotional level, but with so many words, of which, being a poet, she crafts them in an exact kind of artistic fashion that you don't have to overburden the canvas with exactly what you want to say. There are some very nice lines here. Happiness doesn't complete me. The fragile music of the night, my eyes screamed. I am me with my tears and my smile. My breath tried to soothe my soul. And I guess here there's plenty of heartbreak, but like with her other emotional pieces, you know, a certain amount of hope is there in that ending verse, that there will always be the blue sky. And once again, her heart will flutter with joy.
Thank you, Raz. I think she would really appreciate that, you know, coming from all of us, this sentiment. And, yeah, she always has the silver linings and the hope, which always, you know, brings it back to life. Because sometimes she has you just devastated. And, you know, you feel that, but she always has hope